or the time period is 2.95%. So you will see that on the purple on the second page. That is the tentative agreement regarding the base wages. And so we reached a tentative agreement to settle for base wages in the amount of 2.95% in accordance with state law. So would you like me to do the second item or pause there?
I think we can pause there and vote on this, and then we'll move to the second item. Just checking, is there a separate purple for C2 or?
There's not, they're all
It's all
together.
together. Oh, got it. Okay. Why don't you, in that case then, Gina, why don't you go ahead and move into C2 as well?
Okay, thank you. So then we move into what's called a meet and confer with the Oregon Education Association. By law, we are not allowed to bargain steps for the schedule or any supplemental compensation, but we certainly, it's important to us to meet with the OEA and meet with the teachers to talk about different models and ideas, find out what is important to them in terms of retention and recruitment, share what the market is from our perspective in recruiting educators, and try to come up with a proposal to the board that meets the expectations of the teachers that we currently have, but also allows us to stay competitive to recruit new teachers to our district, as well as one that we can afford, is within our budget, and is fiscally responsible to our community. And so we recommend the Educator Compensation Schedule 25-26 draft, also attached to the purple. As you can see, we did a few things differently for this schedule. The first is that we heard from our teachers that it was very important to them to add a step at 21 years of experience. And so we looked at that, looked at our comparables in Dane County, and costed that with the help of Mr. Weiland and Cara Newton, who was a tremendous resource through all of this, and determined that we could agree to do that if we looked at doing steps 1 through 11 a little bit differently. And so from my perspective in hiring, really felt that our green level, meaning steps 1 through 5, that we needed a little bit of gradation through those steps in order to still recruit educators to our district. So you'll see there now we have a $400 differential between the steps, which isn't a lot, so it is affordable, but it is enough to keep us competitive with our comparable districts. And then we did the same thing in the orange level as well. If you look at the blue level, we did keep that level $1 amount. And so we feel really strongly that that is where we can be in our market to be competitive, as well as retain the excellent educators that we have. And so we really strongly recommend this schedule. I would note August has been a little bit different in terms of hiring because we tend to hire not as experienced people in August. That was not the trend this year. We are hiring very experienced people. We do overall hire very experienced people, so that tells me that we are a destination district. We've remained a destination district, especially if you look at the 2 hires in the board packet. They are Spanish and special education, which are very competitive fields for people to be in, and I'm grateful that they chose our district to be in. And to echo Mr. Johnson's comments, just so grateful to our community in approving the referendum, because it has been just the game changer in terms of keeping our educators here and being able to attract those experienced educators to our district. So I also want to thank Mr. Johnson and the team, because we met multiple times this summer. That's all volunteer time for them. And I feel like every meeting we had was a beautiful summer day. And we were bargaining in a conference room, sometimes without windows. So I'm just really grateful for the union for participating in that. So I think that's all I have.
Great. We'll start with any clarifying questions about either one of the items on the table here. Go ahead, Mary.
Thank you. So my first question is, so C1 talks about 2.95, which is CPI, which is the cap. On the last page, though, it says educators off schedule would receive a 3% increase to their contract salary. That's different than their base salary, yes?
Yes, so it is really what educators care about at the end of the day is what does their contract say, right? For them, it's a distinction without a difference of what part is base wages and what part is supplemental compensation. They just want to know what their salary will be for the year. So for those educators who are off schedule, and that pool is shrinking, I think with retirements, we're down to maybe 15 or 16 of people that have just been here a very long time for the most part, and make more than our schedule provides for. And so if those teachers looked at their contracts from the 24-25 school year, they would add 3%, and that would be their contract for the 25-26 school year, assuming the board would approve this tonight.
Okay, thank you. My second question is with the additional steps, the breakout of steps 1 through 5 and then steps 6 through 10, no individual is taking a pay cut, correct?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So the range of increases ranges from 2 to 4%.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other clarifying questions? Okay, so we'll do this in two separate motions. So the first motion would be to approve the tentative agreement for 25-26. Motion
second.
by Dr. Bush, second by Dr. Lakuta. Is there any discussion on this item? All right, Katie, please call the roll.
Dr. Bush?
Yes.
Dr. Lakuta?
Yes.
Ms. Bijak?
Yes.
Ms. Garrison?
You can, if you feel that you don't have enough information to vote, or if you feel that you do, you can certainly vote.
Still can't there. Yes, I do feel like I have enough information from the board packet and prior conversation, so yes.
Mr. Hensel? Ms. Wright?
Yeah.
Mr. Pankratz?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. All right, the second motion that we'd be looking for is to approve the attached educator compensation schedule for the 25-26 school year. So that is attached to the purple. Do we have a motion? Motion by Mr. Hensel. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Lakuta. Is there any discussion on this item? All right. Please call the roll, Katie.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Dr. Lakuta?
Yes.
Ms. Bijak?
Yes.
Dr. Bush?
Yes.
Ms. Garrison?
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yeah.
Mr. Pankratz?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. All right, we have an educator compensation schedule. So thank you, Mr. Johnson, for attending tonight and for speaking on behalf of the OEA. All right, we will move on then to item C3, which is the approval of the 25-26 education assistance schedule and milestone recognition for all hourly staff. Gina?
Okay, thank you. So again, we would be seeking two motions from the board. So I will start with the education assistance schedule. I want to thank Michaela Powers, who is our new HR specialist. She started last October, and that was part of the Professional Sustainability Task Force to have that position. And so one of the goals of the HR department this past school year was to improve the retention and recruitment rates for education assistants. It is an area of growth for us, certainly not where we want to be. And we wanted to spend the school year really studying that and talking to our current education assistants and seeing what we could do to better retain them. Because not only does that impact our students if there isn't continuity for people in that role, but it really impacts our educators and our administrators that have to fill in when they're not there and provide that support for students, particularly our case managers in special education. We spent a lot of time studying that, surveying the education assistants, meeting with them, prioritizing, looking at the different things that we could do. And we really, this is step one of that process. Part of what came out of that process was a change of their job title. And so instead of paraprofessionals, we changed this year to education assistants to really better reflect what they do. And so when we surveyed them, not surprisingly, the number one priority was to provide higher wages. And looking at everything, feedback we received was that if one person said on a survey, if I can't pay for my gas to get there and I can't pay groceries for my family, then it isn't a job that I'm able to stay and do, even though I absolutely love it. Right. And so slowly trying to eliminate that barrier with this schedule. That was their highest priority. Their second highest priority was to recognize years of service. So they wanted to see more steps for being here. And they were intrigued by the milestone payments that are available to professional staff. And then the third piece that came out was lower health insurance costs. And so looking at really what would benefit the most of our staff is making a recommendation to you that you'll see as attached at Appendix B on the purple was an education assistance wage schedule that provided at least a 3% increase to all of our staff. And that did incorporate steps so that there was a small differential for those years of service in response to their feedback, as well as putting additional dollar amounts in special education, because that is just our area that is hardest for us to recruit. And then you'll see there is that we don't have a proposal on health insurance. Only about, I have it in the purple, about 35% of our education assistants take health insurance. So it isn't the whole group, but for those that do, we know that's really important. But that will be an area of study for us this school year because we are in our final year of our 4-year contract with GHC. So really, I feel like step one was changing the name. Step two is looking at higher competitive wage schedule. And then step three will be to look at health insurance. So with that, I am happy to take any questions on the schedule in Appendix B.
All right, any questions for Ms. Jonan? Go ahead, Anna.
In the purple, you described that some of the opportunity to fund the, in particular, the increases related to the years of service was related to not filling 2 support staff positions through attrition. And so I guess I'm just wanting to understand what that looks like as far as making sure that that doesn't create additional work for others or, related to that. So I guess I'm just curious if you could speak more to the positions that were not filled through attrition.
So in terms of the one position, it's just reorganizing where people are in the building. I want to be careful because there are 2, so I don't want to be identifiable the employee. But it was really reorganizing the way we're doing the main office and the student services area. So it isn't necessarily adding more work to someone, but it's changing location and what their day will look like. In terms of the other position, it does result in increased work for multiple different people. And so right now we feel that we have the capacity to absorb that work and just changing things from a technology standpoint to make things more efficient. So we'll continue to study that for this year because, one position was divided up in probably to about 4 or 5 people. So hoping that we can do that. If that changes, you may see something different in the staffing plan, but we've been doing that for a few months and it's going well.
And then just one follow-up. It would be interesting to see how our retention rates change over time. So I just would be curious to know how those track, I guess, from this past year to the next year based on, and if we think that some of that has to do with some of these things, because certainly I'm certainly hopeful that this will continue to keep some of our folks happy here in our district.
Yes, we as well. All of the districts, we keep data on our retention rates, and that is our goal, that in the next few years, hopefully that this will be impactful in keeping people here.
Any other questions? And Gina, I assume we can do this as one motion? correct?
We can do one or two. I also wanted to talk about the milestones. So I'm happy to talk about that now too.
Okay, yeah, proceed.
So then you'll see the second priority was to have milestone payments similar to the teachers. So we did look at that to see if we were able to make that happen within the parameters of our budget. And so you'll see on the second page of the purple, we are proposing milestone payments that are half what the professional staff are. And that would go to all hourly staff that are 0.50 or higher. So not just education assistants, but really treating all of our hourly staff the same. We do have a handful of custodians, admin assistants, and food service staff that have been with us that would qualify for these. You can see the numbers there. And so really, I mean, just speaking for myself as a parent, my daughter going through Netherwood, I was thinking about her experience that she had the same admin assistants in the main office, both of them, the same health para, the same, head custodian, and that was really impactful. Because I think from a younger student's point of view, they're all teachers, right? And so I think to have that continuity is just a really valuable asset for our students and our staff. So we would be looking to expand that to all of the hourly groups in the hopes that people really can see this as a job, that they can come and support a family and have good work-life balance and retire from us.
Any questions on the milestone payments? All right, so I would take a motion for approval of the education assistant's wage schedule for the 25-26 school year and approval of the milestone payments for all support staff who are 0.5 FTE or higher to be paid on the June payroll annually.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Dr. Bush,
I'll second.
second by Dr. Lakuta. Is there any discussion on this item? All right, Katie, please call the roll.
Dr. Bush?
Yes.
Dr. Lakuta?
Yes.
Ms. Bijak?
Yes.
Ms. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel? Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Pankratz?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. All right, next up we have the approval of the September 22nd, 2025 annual meeting agenda. Dr. Bergstrom, is that for you?
Absolutely. So in your packet, you will see the agenda that we are proposing for the annual meeting on September 22nd and at 6:30 in the Innovation Center, so right here. And it is similar to the agendas that we have utilized in the past. And we're looking forward to a meeting that will include not only state of the district, but also some information from Andy related to the budget for the following year. That's it.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion?
Well, I'll make that.
Motion by Heather, second by Nathan. Any discussion on the agenda for the annual meeting? All right, Katie?
Ms. Garrison? Yes. Mr. Hensel? Ms. Bijak?
Yes.
Dr. Bush?
Yes.
Dr. Lakuta?
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Pankratz?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. We have an agenda for the annual meeting. All right, next up we move to discussion items. We'll start with committee reports. Vision steering, Anna.
No update tonight.
All right, thank you. And then we have policy, Mary.
Policy met on the 21st of July and have two policies that they voted on. We will be bringing those to the September 8th meeting.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to make sure that was
Just looking
confirmed on everyone's calendar.
Okay. And we'll be scheduling our next meeting. The August meeting was canceled, but we will be scheduling one in September. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mary. Next up is E, informational items. We'll start with visioning and strategic planning, and then we'll move right into teaching and learning.
Thank you. For visioning and strategic planning, I just want to call your attention to the graphic that you see so often. And for all of you here on the board, this is something that has been around for several years and is something we refer to really every time we meet. But for our new educators, who I had the privilege of talking with last week, this was something that was brand new. So I wanted to introduce to them the idea of policy governance, how our board operates, how the district administration and the board operate together in furtherance of strategic priorities and annual goals. So this is a graphic that they saw that I walked through with them as a group. And the group, and you'll see a picture of them coming up pretty quickly, was, just under 40 people, I believe, who are here with us in this room. So I helped them to understand how the board has priorities that are multi-year, and this slide we need to change the dates here because this goes up to 2027 now, and how these priorities that are reviewed on an annual basis then feed into the district goals, and how much of the time I would say that our staff are very much involved in goals 1 and 2 and 4. And you'll see that 3 and 5 sort of live within the district office, but we certainly work with our teachers on, to achieve all of them. So then the second goal, readiness for learning, that is something that last year we paid a particular amount of attention to. And this is something that was important to explain to our staff who are new also. And that is, while there are many components of what helps make a student ready for learning, last year we focused very much on focused and engaged learning and high quality collaborative teaching. And that, of course, led us into our updated cell phone policy or electronic devices policy, and our plan to start a student late start on January 5th of 2026 in order to allow our staff to collaborate at the highest levels in a professional learning community that includes all of our educational specialists who are so very often not able to attend. So this was all explained to the new people in the district so that they understood what they should be looking ahead to and why things like this were put into place. Because sometimes when you're brand new, you might see what the change is, but not the why of the change. So that was a really good opportunity for us with our new staff. So related to the teaching and learning update, I'll just speak quickly about federal and state legislative update. Because while there isn't anything new, I think it's really important to continue to talk about the impact of the state budget. And we certainly are very appreciative for the budget that allows the $325 per student increase in revenue limits. It's really important to note that this is not an increase that keeps up with inflation. And as a matter of fact, we're quite behind in that area. And while from the steady fiscal management of the school board and our business department, we are in a better place than the vast majority of districts in the state of Wisconsin, I think it's really important to note how challenging the next year will be for districts, public school districts across the state, particularly as the state did not raise the per pupil categorical aid, so this is making the $325 per pupil revenue limit authority even more critical. And as I said, it's not a change that keeps up with inflation. And we will have a work session post this meeting that will help all of us have an even more thorough understanding that will be coming from Mr. Weiland. And another thing it's always important to note is that the state budget becomes all the more critical when there are potential federal education cuts. Right now it looks okay, but I'll also say that things seem to be changing at a really rapid pace, and there are a lot of things that we don't exactly know how they will play out. And that's why we think it's important to continually have a state and federal legislative update, because there are many things that are unknown. And I think it's important for anybody who's listening to understand that also. Now, here's some fun stuff. So this is a picture of our new educators right here in this room. We had a really great week getting to know all of them. And the highlights of their time together, of course, included the scavenger hunt around the district. They got to meet a lot of new friends, hopefully new friends and colleagues. And they also were able to hear directly from OSD students. So that's always fun too, when there's a student panel here to tell the new educators exactly what they think about life in the OSD. So they're a really amazing group of people, and we're excited to be working with them and welcoming them to our community. And this is a way that we are welcoming new educators to our community. We have these new educator spotlights that are coming up on social media. We're really excited to feature new members of our team, and these are just a few of the great team members who will be joining us this year. And the social media sites will be continually welcoming in new people with posts such as this. And then speaking of welcome, this past Wednesday, so last week, the entrance to the high school was decorated with messages of welcome for incoming 9th grade students who were in the building for orientation. And this was just one of our popular Jumpstart orientation programs that we hold for classes of students who are going into a new school building. So they're held for OHS for 9th grade, OMS for 7th, and RCI for 5th. And this year, some of you may have heard, the high school hosted our middle school students as well because of a last-minute power outage at the middle school. We had to think very creatively and quickly in order to get all of our middle school students to the high school so that they could have a really good experience learning about important middle school things, with the understanding that all of the tours that would normally take place if they were actually in the building will take place at other dates when we have other opportunities. And rest assured, they absolutely will have opportunities to explore their new school at OMS. And then we had National Night Out in Fitchburg. Last time we were together, I spoke about the Brooklyn and Oregon National Night Out. And this time, we're able to spend a beautiful evening doing a collaborative coloring project, which really was a hit for all ages, as you can see on here. We were joined by a police officer, the mayor of Fitchburg, and this was so fun. A couple celebrating their 55th and 56th reunions as alums from the OSD. So those were just to name a few, and you can see all the sweet children who stopped to add to the artwork too. It was really a fun event. So thanks to all of our partners from the Dane County Sheriff's Department, the Oregon Police Department, and the Fitchburg Police Department for making these events possible. And then, of course, remember to tune into the OSD podcast. And the one we're recording tomorrow is about the football team and our new coach, Coach Weber, and an interview with our athletic director, Ms. Spencer Grant, as well as team captains for football. And that's it for tonight.
All right, thank you. That brings us to closing. Future agenda will be back together in 2 weeks on September 8th. And checkout. Does anyone have anything for checkout? Dr. Bush, we'll start with you. Mr. Hensel? Ms. Garrison? Dr. Lakuta?
I do. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss the September 8th meeting. I will be in flight for work.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Thank you. Anna, anything for checkout? No. Leslie, anything from you?
No.
All right, and nothing from me. So we will take a 5-minute recess, and then we'll reconvene for our financial model presentation. Thank you.